Hi everyone, another little RF900 video. I got a request via YouTube to show how to change the clutch on those. So without too much waffling, let's just delve into it. The right hand side fairing has to be taken off. And what's really cool on those bikes is that you don't actually have to drain the oil to do a clutch work, because they lean towards the left so much that you'll just lose maybe 100 mils of oil after taking the clutch cover off, and you can work on the clutch. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so first step, the bolts. So as you can see, all the bolts removed. Good old trick is to take a cardboard or whatever piece of paper and put all those bolts in order. Then you know how they go back in. Right, getting the cover off. This is probably the best place to pull. There we go. I'm trying to not destroy the old gasket. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Has it come out? There we go. So as you can see, the gasket in lovely condition, no damage whatsoever. Okay folks, and then using the circlip pliers, remove the circlip that holds that plate in there. And now remove this plate here. It simply lifts off. Don't lose that part inside. There's going to be a little washer in there, so don't lose that. Then draw out the bearing and push piece. So that's what it looks like. You can take the bearings off and inspect the bearings for any abnormalities or damage. Okay, so now we're going to have to use this universal, or if you have it, clutch holding tool specifically for 94 model of RF900. I'm using this universal tool, and the way you install it is pretty simple actually. So you see this corrugation here on that sleeve. You've got those clamps, and those are going to hold all that assembly in place. Okay then, so the tool is on, and unfortunately this universal tool isn't ideal because you've got to put it in this very awkward sort of manner, because otherwise you're not going to be, if you put it across the middle of the clutch sleeve hub, you're not going to be able to put your socket in, because that part goes across here. So this is the sort of awkward way you've got to put it in, but it seems to me that it's fairly secure, so I'm going to make it a bit tighter using that screw as well. Just to get it a tad tighter and secure it. And all that is going to be resting on the foot peg here. If you have a look, that's going to be resting on the foot peg. And hopefully now I'm going to be able to get this nut off. Let's see how it goes. So it's let go. Excellent. There we go. Comes off pretty nicely. And there we have it. Okay, now you can remove the clutch pressure plate. Okay, so inside there you're going to have the diaphragm springs. So as you probably know, in normal clutch you're going to have 5, or I can't remember, maybe even 6 traditional springs. In this assembly it's different. It's actually all done with the use of the diaphragm springs. So there's 2, and as you can see, they're actually shaped like this. It's like a cup, and there's 2 of them, so just remember how they go in. So now we can remove the plates, and to do that ideally you would use a little magnet like this, and then it becomes so easy. So there we go. First plate, second, and the next one. One little tip for the remaining plates that sit really deep inside the hub. If you have trouble with removing it using those magnets, you can actually put the motorcycle a bit more upwards, and then it's going to be easier to remove them. But remember, by doing that, you're going to lose a bit of oil, so please have some basin underneath it. You're not going to lose that much, maybe 300 mils or 400 mils. And as long as this is all super clean, you can actually reuse this oil or simply top it up with the new oil. As you can see, removing those plates isn't actually that difficult. All you have to do is use the magnets wisely and they'll come out really, really lovely. And the next one. And the next one. Okay, so that is it. All plates removed. All you have left in there is those big washers. I'll just remove them to show you what they are. So those are the washers. So let's talk about clutch plates for the RF900. So the 94 model is one of a kind. All the later models have different clutch assembly. And basically you've got two types of plates in general in this clutch assembly. As you can see, some of those are steel plates and some of those are fiber plates. So I'm gonna take first two to show you what I mean. So the one on the right hand side is the fiber plate, is the drive plate, and those are driven plates made of steel. So the difference is pretty obvious, not only the color but the corrugation on the driven plates is inside, whereas on the drive plates the teeth are outside. Just to make it a bit more complicated, then Suzuki decided to have three types of drive plates in this assembly. So how do you differentiate them? So the type number one is the plates with internal diameter of 110 millimeters. So let's have a look if it's actually that. There we go. You can see it's 110. Then the second type of plates is the plate number 2 and number 3, and those, second and third, they also have internal diameter of 110 millimeters, but supposedly they were painted white somewhere outside. Obviously that paint is now gone. This clutch is used, you know, it's 25 years old. So I guess if you buy your new set of clutches, the plate number 2 and number 3 will have some white marks on it. If not, then I guess it maybe doesn't matter. You can install them as you want. And then you've got the third type of plate, and you've got only one of that in this assembly, which is actually the last one that goes inside the engine. And that one, you can tell straight away that it's different, because not only the actual friction material is different shape, it's smaller, the internal diameter of this plate is also different. So the previous ones were 110 millimeters, and this one is 116. So let's measure it. There we go, 116. So you know that that one is different, and it goes at the very, very beginning towards the engine. When it comes to driven plates, what you can check is for discoloration. That would mean that they were basically really, really hot. You can also check for distortion, so you would put it on a piece of glass and you would see if they're bent in any way. But those seem very good to me, and my clutch worked always fine, so I'm not going to bother with that. Time for reassembly. So all we have inside now is just those washers, big thin washers I showed you before. And before we install the first plate, let's just smear it in oil. So having some oil on it, let's put it back in. And this was the first plate with the 116 millimeter internal diameter. Then we've got the first steel plate. Okay, another drive plate. Okay, and another one. So all plates are in. Now clutch pressure plate goes in. Engages with the teeth nicely. Then of course we've got our diaphragm springs. There's 2 of them there. And put them there exactly the way they came out. And those actually wear out too, so you can check their height. And the recommended height for those is 3.1 millimeter at least. So any less than that, those have to be replaced, but those are cheap. You can buy them on eBay for about 10-15 pounds. So not a problem. And they go in exactly the same way they came out, because they are formed as a cup like this, and they go in like that. Now of course we've got the big nut, 50mm nut, which secures all this. Okay, time to torque this up. 50mm nut has to go down to 100 Newton meters. So as you can see, I've installed my clutch holding tool a bit differently this time, because I'm going to be turning it that way, clockwise, meaning the tool will be going up, pushing towards that way. So it's going to support on the frame, meaning the whole assembly will be in one place. So this is our torque range. Let's set up 100 Newton meters. Okay, so there we go. It's 98 and 100. There we go. Then it's time for our push piece with needle bearings. Of course, inspect the bearings for damage and missing bearings, but that seems to be all good, so that goes in like that. Then there's our holding plate with a little washer here, so don't lose that. Pretty much last step. Time to install a snap ring or circlip, and according to service manual, the soft edge has to go towards the engine. And also you might find this difficult because it seems like there is no space for this snap ring. So what you've got to do, you've got to basically push this plate towards the engine, but you've got to be somewhat quick because it wants to come back. So once again, let's just push it in. Okay, that's in. There we go. We are in. All nicely installed. Alright then, we are pretty much done. The last step before installation of the cover is smearing those 2 areas on the side with a bit of an RTV. I used blue RTV. This is what service manual recommends. I also think it's a good idea to put some of that stuff at the bottom here, because obviously this is the area which oil would probably penetrate. Don't forget, those 2 dowel pins have to be there, so if you've lost them, make sure you found them. And don't go with ridiculous amount of RTV, by the way. You just need a tad of it. Alright guys, we are pretty much done. The last thing I have to do is replenish the oil. Let's not forget, during the process we've lost some oil because we tilted the bike a bit more upright. So in my case this is about 400 milliliters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse the same oil because it was all drained into a very clean pan and it's actually not contaminated at all. But you obviously are encouraged to top it up with fresh oil. And that is it. Job done. This is how you replace the clutch on the 94 model of RF 900. Thanks for watching. Till next time.